Hey, what's going on, everyone? Well, today I'm going to be replacing a water heater's pressure temperature relief valve. Unfortunately, the one on this tank here behind me is leaking, but it's not the end of the world. I'm just going to change it out. It's a shame it's leaking, yes, but they just did some road work around here. The pressures, I heard, were bouncing up and down, and well, this is the outcome sometimes. But I mean, it could also be if a water heater overheats. Well, if it overheats, okay, that's going to cause the relief to open up also, or if the pressure goes too high. But here, I'll show you. So there's the relief valve right here. It's protected so nobody could bump it, or so I thought, hopefully. But then at the bottom, we get down here, you can see it's got some water inside of it, so it's going to have to be replaced. But it's not the hardest job. In order to replace a pressure relief valve, what you're going to need, it's pretty basic. You're going to need a pipe wrench. You may get lucky and be able to pull the job off with water pump pliers. You're going to need some thread sealant, and you're going to need a screwdriver. So I mean, make sure your screwdriver is made in USA. No, I'm kidding. It doesn't have to be made in USA, but that's pretty cool. And now for relief valves, we have two different kinds. You're going to have to know which one is on your water heater. Do you have the long body or the short body? This white stem here, this is the thermal element. The pressure element is in the bottom end of this, and that's what causes this valve to rise up when it opens. As you can see, it's opening up slowly, just a little bit. That's enough to let the water come out. So let's bring it back down, close it up. Alright, so let's get to work. First, what we got to do in order to get this off is, well, we have to get rid of the water inside. We got to get rid of that water pressure. So we're going to close the cold. I know a lot of people don't have a hot, but when I put my water heaters in, I put a cold and a hot. I'm closing both of those off. This way, right now, I only have to get the water out of the tank, and I only have to get water out of the tank below here so that I don't make a mess. Next, you're going to need to have a hose, which I should have said with everything else you need, but you're going to need a hose. So you take your hose, connect it right here. When you have a water leak, you may not even be lucky enough to catch those drips. Open this up, put your hand in, and if you don't feel any water, you're good. But now we have that opened up. Oh, we have the hose connected. Open this and let it drain. I'm going to just make it come up a little more. After we start draining this, now we have to get this pipe off of here. One thing you could do, since now you already turned the pressure off of the tank, if you don't have a wrench, but you're gonna have a hard time putting it back on. Okay, now I just actually loosened my relief valve. That's gonna make it easier for it to come off, because, well, I moved it. I would have to keep going around though, and I can't go round and round and round to get that off. But I started going around with it. Now we got to get this piece off. And this usually shouldn't be too bad to get off. I don't know why it's a little bent, the pipe, but that's the least of our worries. Still, I'm not strong enough to move that yet by hand, but because it moved, I know I can use channel locks or something else, and it's going to come out. These are not channel locks, these are way better, but now you got to be careful, because right around here soon you're going to start sucking air in. But let's open it up, and what that's doing is it's letting air go in so that the water in the tank is dropping, and that this will be draining into the pit. Which, let me just plug in the pump. So, I mean, it's working off its battery, but still. And then when you look in, you can see the white gunk and stuff inside of it. So this will take a minute or so. If I take it off now, there's a good chance, well, water's going to come out, because it's still slurping the water right here. And if you don't open your relief, you're not sucking in the air. So you can't really drain, you just create a vacuum. Problem with that vacuum is as soon as you pull this off, you end up letting the water out. But we're almost there. Well, while we're waiting for this to be done, let's come back over here to the relief valves. And well, this, I'm already seeing that it's a long body, because it's going in deep. So let's wrap up and get this one ready, the long body one. So we're going to use Teflon tape. This way, what we're doing is we're allowing that air to get in, and then you pull it tight and you wrap around. You go clockwise, wrap around. Alright, I'm going to do one more wrap around. I usually use Teflon and dope, but since I started using the Blue Monster, sometimes I've been getting lazy and just using this. It seems to make a pretty good seal, and I always, with my fingers, rub it in to that so it's nice and tight and won't fall off. Well, it sounds like the slurping stopped. So I have my relief valve ready. We're going to take this out. But before I put it in, okay, so this relief valve, this is your thermal element, which is sensing the water temperature. I could have showed you that on this one too. Let's see, are we going to be in trouble? I believe the water should be under it now. Out. New one. Make sure you're not getting anything into your opening. See, this one may even stick out further. Let's see. A little, not much. But if I went with the shorter one, here, let me grab that and just show you the difference. I'll put all three of them here in the light of the bodies. So this is the one that I have. This is another one that I have. As you can see, that will be too short most likely. This may be a little longer, but you know what? It doesn't matter, because, okay, so here is a thread. Elements will both be in the water. Only difference is this is going to come forward a little bit more. It's going to stick out of the tank. Let's pop it in. Pop it in. Pop it in. Clean up some of the old stuff. Let's take a paper towel. I recommend don't dig your fingers into that too much. Use a paper towel. It can definitely slice you up, because I mean, it is just metal threads, so, and they're sharp because they're cut into the metal. Here we go. We take our valve. Is there something wrong with my teeth? Me teeth. Dun, dun, dun. Why is it wanting to put up a little fight there. Alright. Oh, I thought I had it. I thought I had it. Okay, there we go. And it's going by hand. I don't feel like I'm cross-threading. It's my biggest fear when I'm struggling to get something on, is that it's cross-threading, because you don't want to re-thread that steel. That's a big, big problem if you do that. Okay. Yeah, nah. And if I was threading the steel, this also wouldn't be going straight. I already got him to size. He's not going to fit, though. He's to the size of the other. Will he fit? Oh, yeah. Let's see. I may need the pipe wrench, or I may not. I actually should open this wrench a little more so he's not sliding. Not much. Okay. I mean, I could make it smaller and wrench from there. Boom. Now, I wouldn't try this with any like channel locks. I would definitely not use. These are Knipex, and these jaws cut in and dig really well. And well, let's see. I actually am going to get a piece of sandcloth and clean the end of this up before I put it back on. Alright, so before I put this piece back on, only thing I'm going to do with that is just to see how straight it would be coming off of this. As you could see, something with the pipe. Okay, so I have this finished. I'm going to want it here so it'll drip in to the pan and not out. Let's close the valve off. For a second. But now this looks pretty straight. And if I pulled it, it's almost like using that wrench, right? Because remember, I went that way to loosen it. But let's get it back off, because that looks good. What I'm going to do, though, because of the amount of minerals and crap in this tank, let's put this on the side. Let's now, we close the bottom. Open the cold. I always open slowly and allow the tank to start to fill. We're going to make sure nothing's going to leak out of here. This is a tough chimney that I did because it's almost straight, but it's not. It's got a little incline, so it's gonna naturally go up and out. No condensation marks or anything, no overheating here, because that's a problem. Is if you don't have it exhausting right, you're gonna overheat and melt these plastic fittings on the side. But you could see they're not overheating or anything other than the fact that the solder that I had dripped down right there. But if this wasn't exhausting good, these would be melting. Okay, so that's now a little bit more. I never blast it or shock it all at once. We're filling the tank, but here's something that, while filling the tank, we've already started pressurizing it. What this is going to do is it's going to flush the bottom. So this way, if there's any gunk or anything on the bottom, okay, let that flow for a minute, because this has a lot of the white, crusty mineral stuff inside of it. A little bit in here too, so. Okay. Now to back this off. Alright. Sounds like it's full. So, now to open up this side. Bloop, bloop. I heard a bubble go up. Now what I'm going to do is go over to a sink real fast and let the air out. Whenever you do a plumbing repair and you turn the water back after draining, you're going to get this. That's the air that's in the system. You may have to go to every sink in the house and do that, but okay. So we're back on. Air's out of the tank. I'll let that run for 1 minute or so. How's this doing? Dry. I like that. Alright. And this is mostly all water coming out, so now turn that off. Come back over here. All dry around that. Doesn't look like anything is leaking out inside. I can see the steel all around. That looks pretty good. Alright. So now my next step is let's turn this back to A. And then we have to relight it. So now it's a spark ignition. So this button you hold in along with this, but to light it you have to go to pilot, push in, light. Now you're gonna hold it until you see the light come on this controller. You may have to push it a couple times. If you did a gas repair or anything like that, you're most likely gonna have to push it more than once. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 clicks, but let's just see. I'm stubborn. There we go. We're on. Oh, I let go too fast. Nope. We're on. Okay, so now I'm going to go to A. And it should fire right up. There we go. Alright, so now we're back on. It's heating up. Let your tank heat up. Make sure nothing leaks out of here. You could pop this on now, or you could pop it on later, but I know now there's no water coming out, so I'm gonna just pop this on now. Also, it's safer in case it opens up now. It's gonna drip out the bottom. Do remember you have water in this pipe here, so you may still get an occasional drip every now and then, but it should only be a little drip. The other spot you may have created a headache on yourself with is right here. Many times on a water heater, once you've drained it, your actual water heater drain itself doesn't, it starts leaking from the minerals in the water. So what I'm gonna do is with a paper towel come in, and we're just gonna put it in there for a second. So any residual should hopefully have been sucked up. And now I'm gonna give that a minute also and make sure no water is running down, which I don't see anything inside of it. But I'm gonna give it a minute or two just to make sure that nothing's leaking. I'm also gonna stay and watch it heat up to make sure that when the tank's all the way heated, it doesn't cause it to bubble or anything. But at A, you're not really gonna have a problem. I don't think it can get that hot, because A is really low. I mean, I could see somebody keeping it between maybe C and very hot, but even then, the tank shouldn't overheat that way. But if your gas valve fails, then it can be overheating. But hope you guys enjoyed the video of replacing a safety temperature relief valve. And I guess I will see you guys next time. Like and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever you want to do. Until next time, my name is Bill, and I am out.